Hey, you guys, welcome back to You're So Good. You are about to hear part 2 of our conversation with Queer Eye's Jonathan Van Ness.
So good. How did you do it? How did you do it? You're so good.
Where does your work ethic come from? Is it
Is it a Velvet Rage moment?
No.
What's a velvet
like
rage
feeling
moment?
like everyone needs to like
Oh, yeah,
accept
like
and
gays, they have like this hole in them they're constantly
I'm
trying
learning
to
so much
fill.
about gay lingo today.
Oh,
Mask.
You should read the Velvet Rage. It's a
great
really good book. It's
Yeah.
a really good book. I've always been a student. Like I always have loved to learn, but it has to be something that I'm like naturally interested in. Like if I'm not interested in it, like
In the same way.
like math, I can't deal.
Yeah.
Except for geometry, I was like really good at geometry.
Visual bitch.
But yeah, I think in terms of like, yes,
Loves
but
an angle.
in terms of like, I also found that book to be. I think he should write a follow up.
Yeah, I only read half of it, if
It's
I'm
a
being
little
honest.
dated now, too.
I think yeah.
Once I got the concept, I was like, oh, wow.
What is the?
I feel that.
Can you break it down?
Well, kind of. It's a little bit of like. There's like 3 phases of gay men in this book, or gay men are like in 3 phases of like enlightenment or like self-discovery in this book, and basically gay men, because of society like constantly not fitting in from the time that we were born because of our sexual orientation, like we had this kind of void in us that we're constantly trying to fill by being like the best dressed, know the most things, like be the most articulate, be the best groomed, like you know, be that like best dressed,
Prove
cutest.
that we're worth something.
Yeah.
Yes,
Makes
yes,
sense.
yes, yes,
Makes
yes.
sense.
So, no, but good question. But I do think that I'm like a natural born student, and I think that I did learn like a strong work ethic from my family, because my family is like, I'm from a broadcasting family that's like, I'm like the 6th generation of it, so it feels very like in my family bones to like want to work.
Yeah, and
I'm-
maybe
I'm-
have a podcast. That
Yeah,
feels
I'm like,
it's
yeah, I'm
something to do,
happiest
too.
working. I'm happiest learning. I'm happiest like creating.
Yeah.
And even before like this phase in my career, like when it was just like behind the chair, like 5 days a week or on set doing hair, like that was also me being in a creative place where I was like in my element and loved to create. Like I love to use my hands. I love to think, and being behind the chair satisfied, like all of those things. That's why I got into it in the first place.
Yeah.
I just
Wow,
like,
wow, interesting.
yeah.
And I feel like once you like decide you want to do something, you're very dedicated to it. And that's been a theme of all the guests too. They're like, well, once you want to be a figure skater,
Right,
you
you commit.
do it every day.
That's very true.
How's that going?
It's going really good, except for my fucking coach Elliot had the nerve to go to Sweden for 3 weeks.
So do you have
and
another
did not
coach?
even consult me. No, because I'm that loyal bitch. I don't need to be working
Yeah.
with some other person just because
But she
Elliot
ditched you without telling you.
Well, he actually had it planned before we met, and how dare you try to plant those nasty rumors in my brain? But you know, you sound like a fucking Russian judge if I knew any better. You know, and good luck.
How often are you training when he's in town?
Like every day, 4 days a week. 5
Good
days a
for
week,
you.
4 days a week. I
That is
love,
sexy.
I love to be on the ice, queen.
Can I tell you something? I can't even skate for a foot without holding the wall.
You could if you did it like 3 days in a
did it
row.
enough.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's what
They
we're all
have cute
saying. which is
walkers,
I
girl. They got
don't
walkers.
They're the
care.
penguins. And
Oh, you don't like it? You don't have.
I
no
don't.
interest.
I don't dislike it. Like when people are like, "Let's go ice skate." I'm like, "Yeah, sure," but I have the same thing as you. I think everybody does for the most part. Like I need to be curious
Yeah.
and excited and invested, and I'm like, I don't care if I can ice skate.
Yes.
Honestly, it's kind of funny when I can't.
But
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like obsessed with ice skaters when I was
yeah.
little, which is why
Oh, yeah.
I'm
And
obsessed with
gymnasts,
adult.
right?
Yes, both very much. Like extremely.
What attracted you to it?
Olympics obsessed. Like as a
Elegance.
musician, I would expect as someone who has working eyes and ears, you would know.
Yes.
I just wanted to hear you talk about
I feel
it.
this way about ballet dancers.
Oh, yeah, but I mean the pageantry of ballet. I mean, I didn't know where to find that. That wasn't on NBC. The Olympic trials for ballet wasn't on NBC, so I didn't know.
Here's what's beautiful. So we had Isabella Boylston on this podcast, who's a prima ballerina at American Ballet Theater, and she and I collaborated. We did the shows together, and she like brought ballet to Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Which is bringing ballet to the people.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you.
Profound.
I'm
But I'm
gonna
just
get
saying,
you into
growing
it.
up, you're pretty. I love the ballet.
Okay,
I'm obsessed with ballet. But I just mean, like, as a little boy in rural
Right,
middle
right,
America,
right.
like there was,
Right,
we
there's no
didn't have a
access.
ballet.
You weren't
There was
exposed
like,
to it.
But you can
didn't have
watch
it
the
in-
Olympics and see
Yes,
them. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, fine.
So that's just like why I was like, oh my god, Michelle Kwan, Shannon Miller, like Dominique
Yeah.
Dawes, oh my god, Nancy Kerrigan, and can't get enough. Oh my god, such a cone, don't even start it. You know. So yeah, that's. I think I love that. Like I love an Olympics moment, and like, well, you guys were all like. born in Tanya and Nancy's year.
Yeah,
You were like
those
all
are
born in
timely.
92.
Yeah.
See, for me, I was already 5. I was an old soul by then. I was stuck to the television along with the rest of America, riveted at the developments of the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding scandal. You guys had dismissed it.
At age
But
5.
can I tell you that year, the women's long skate in the 1994, it was actually 1994, it wasn't 92. Just get it together. Jesus Christ. It was a little
We'll delete it.
It was
We'll
94.
delete it.
No, it's okay. Don't
I'm
delete
kidding.
it.
I'm kidding. Okay.
92 was Albertville, and 94 was Lillehammer, I believe, if we fact check. But anyway, that's what I believe. And then in 94, because in 92, that was the last year that the Olympics happened in the same year. So prior to 92, like the summer and winter games are always in the same year. I
didn't know that.
Right? Yeah. So in 92, you had Barcelona summer games, and then you had the Albertville winter games. And then the Olympic Committee was like, no more queens. We think it'd be better for ratings if we like syncopated it. So it's like there's one every other year. So the Winter Olympics got to be the lucky ones to go twice. So they got to go again in 94. They didn't have to wait 4 years, which is why if you guys saw I, Tanya, which I'm guessing you guys didn't.
I
because
did.
you
did.
I
You
loved
guys
it.
saw
obviously
that
are
one.
not taking that plotting very deeply because that was the crux of it. So they got to go again in 94, and that's why Tanya made that comeback, that epic comeback. And and so I was riveted with the country. And in 94, that women's long skate was only beat on the Nielsen ratings by the Super Bowl, like by the smallest, slimmest of margins. Like I don't know how they measure it, but it was like this like 0.01. It was like it was. I mean, it almost
Wow.
beat the fucking
Basically
Super Bowl.
tied. Yeah.
It was huge.
Wow.
I mean,
Cool.
That's
it
so cool. I did
put
not know
women's
that.
figure skating on them. That was like the pinnacle of figures of like sport drama. It was so major.
Wow. Who's your favorite figure skater?
Michelle Kwan of all time.
Yes.
She's my favorite too. Yeah.
You know,
Oh my God, wow.
she's really wants to the podcast. We've been talking about it. That scheduling for her is she was
She's
like
also very busy.
with like the presidents
Well,
and stuff.
honey,
she's busy.
she's just came out in support of Joe Biden.
Yes,
she
I
is
saw
really
that.
happy for him.
Yes.
I think that's so exciting for her. I love how politically motivated she is. She worked under Secretary Clinton and President
Wow.
Obama.
Yeah, she's fierce.
She's a
I love her
badass.
so much. She's so smart.
She's so
She's so
cool.
smart. And for like, she is like someone who is like literally turned into a friend. She's one of the smartest, nicest, like most genuine, like
Yeah.
there for you. Like she came to the Radio City Music Show after my little routine. She like came out and held up a 10. She was like a guest judge. It was so
Oh, that's so cute.
I saw that on her Instagram.
I love her so much.
so
She's just a
cool.
really, really great person. She like blew away any expectation I could have ever had for like meeting her. It was, like,
That's
Oh,
the best
wow.
because
Yeah.
it's you like it's a scary thing.
Never thought we would have ended up a little
Right.
friend.
Yeah.
You chose that sparkly dress for her too, right? For the work
Yes,
show?
it's actually just my sweater, but yes. Yeah, the mini dress on Michelle
Wow.
Kwan.
And a stylist.
Yes. Well,
Add
honey,
it to
I
the
needed
list.
something more like glitzy for the GLAAD Awards.
Yeah.
We needed like, because she's like sequence avert because like averted,
'Cause she
like
did it
because
so
did for so
long.
long.
Yeah.
But I was like, girl, it's okay to like revisit it. Like, look how cute this is.
Yeah.
Look at this heel.
A little
my
retro
God.
You know?
emotion. How has it been to get that successful and famous and have your life change that quickly?
It has been a very fun and intense 14 months. But I mean, all the good stuff is really cool. Like how you would obviously imagine like having like, you know, photo shoots and being able to like go on a red carpet and meet the people that, you know, we get to meet and do the things we get to do.
Right.
It's like, it's crazy. But I struggle with almost like a survivor's guilt of it. Like I hear what so many people have been through, and I have by no means, I mean, suffering is relative, and there are people that have definitely had it harder, but I've by no means had a cakewalk. Like check the book, September 24th. but when like, you know, I mean, I think when I did hair, I would do like 8 or 10 people's hair a day. And like 99% of the time, like in the last 2 years, it was all people who I'd been working on, especially in Los Angeles for like a long time. Like
Right.
it wasn't that much new energy, like people who I had known. I did hair for like a month after Queer Eye came out. And at that time I was still like building my clientele in New York. So I had like maybe like 25% of a solid New York clientele. But once the show came out, there was like a waiting list, like
Right.
indefinitely like a waiting list. So that was like all the way new people.
Right.
And so for like in that time, because Queer Eye was out, I was all of a sudden having like, you know, 8 or 10 like new people, and most of those were really good. And I'm really a perfectionist and like a hairdresser, so like
Yeah.
they were like wanting to talk about this show, and I'm like, I can't like really do that song and dance for you right now. Like there's like 10 new people, and like I'm doing a corrective color right now, and like
Yeah.
and this salon charges like an arm and a leg, like, and I can't keep the next people waiting for like 7 hours. I'll try to be like that JVM, but I'm
Right.
like literally working
yeah.
right now, and like your
Yeah.
hair's been to hell and back, and like, but then some of those people like well, actually, a lot of those people like been through lots of stuff, and it really made me like have to exercise like this, like all of a sudden like selective permeability of like not taking everything on, and but I couldn't do that. So I mean,
And
I
not
was
being on all the time.
which I am that
Right.
anyway, but when I was doing it with the same people for like when it's
Right.
not just a selfie and leaving, I was spending like 3 and 4 hours with these
sure.
new
Right.
people that were like really, really, and I'm not complaining. It was just I would go home and I was like just would like cry for 6 hours
Right.
and like just like watch Schitt's Creek
Depleted.
and just like cry
We're big
silent
Schitt's Creek
tears.
fans.
And not only that, but like because of the way that the show is like, when you have an opportunity to get a platform this big and it reaches so wide, like so many people want to share their stories of pain.
Right.
And I want to be that person for them, and I am that person for them. But at night, like you think about those people when you're in your bed with your cats, and like it's hard to like, and like your life doesn't stop when you become successful. Like I have had all sorts of really heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, like literally super tragic family stuff that's happened in the last 2 years that I will never talk about publicly because
Right.
it's just not my style. And not that people who do talk about it is anything about it. There are things that, you know, it's very difficult. And so as amazing as a lot of it has been, there has been a lot of things where I am like having to really check in with that selective permeability and that ability to be like, you know what, I need to leave that there. And I need to just like lay under my gravity blanket with my cats right now and
Yeah.
watch Schitt's Creek and not feel bad because this is so much pressure and and things have changed so rapidly. So like giving myself permission to like not have to put all of that pressure on my shoulders is not only imperative to my continued mental health, but it's also enabled me to like not change who I am in the face of this new
Right.
life. And it's also enabled me to stay authentic to the traits that got me here,
Right.
which allows me to be on Instagram with like my shirt off at 4 and 5 in the morning when I'm up doing coffee dances, about to get on a flight with like sleep in my eye, looking
Love it.
hella busted with like sleep in my
Love
eye
it.
and like dark, like, and I don't mind that there's like hundreds of thousands of people watching me look horrific at 4 in the morning, but I like that because that lets me know that I'm still the same me that I always
Right.
have been, getting up early, busting my ass, doing what I need to do to keep chasing down what I'm passionate about.
Right.
And what I was most scared about when I realized how successful this show is becoming is that I would lose myself and I would become this like nightmare entitled asshole. And I have not become that. And so I think that is great.
Oh my God, I loved all of that.
Me too.
That was
well,
really
I mean, we talk about this a lot, but I feel like a very, very common theme on this podcast that we're discovering with successful people is people are authentic and they're themselves, and they don't like try and morph themselves to become some character or listen to the voices of the people, the powerful people around them, telling them who to be.
Yeah.
It's like been a lot of brave choices of like, no, I'm gonna be
Literally
who I
do exactly
am,
what I wanna do.
and
Yeah.
what's so, and that I think the reason why that people are so successful who are that way is because we're all humans and we all want to connect to other humans, and the
Right.
only way you can connect is if you see yourself in them.
authentic, yeah.
You know, so yes.
I love that so much. Should we get to the 3 questions? Is it time?
Is it time? Yeah,
Were you gonna say
I could talk to you for 100 years.
No, let's
I
do
know.
3 questions. I love 3 questions.
We end the podcast with the same 3 questions.
Love it.
And the first one is, what does success mean to you?
I've so far exceeded any expectation of success that I ever had. So I don't know, like being present with my fucking cats, like, and hopefully like, actually, I feel like now what my definition of success is going to be is like how big my cat sanctuary is.
Yeah, I'm a deep cat.
Me
person.
too. I'm a deep
Oh
cat
my
person.
God.
I'm
I
a
want,
hardcore cat
I want a
girl.
really great cat sanctuary that's like healthy and not like cat hoarders. Like, do you guys remember that Hoarders that like was with the rats? It was like the season finale of that Hoarders, and this guy in Texas, his wife died, and they were raising rats, and then their rat brood went totally out of control when she died, and he literally had like thousands and thousands and thousands of rats, and they had to call like animal control, and they were euthanizing all these rats that were cannibalizing each other, and they had died in these,
my God.
these stampedes, these like rat stampedes.
So the opposite version of that.
Yeah, I
for
want like a
your
really
cat.
healthy cat version of that.
Yes, exactly.
Like a really like healthy, well-funded, like, you know, that's like for
Managed.
like maybe like discouraged cats, like a center for cats who can't read.
Yeah.
Are you guys too young for Zoolander? too?
Zoolander.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not
Cool.
too young. But
Great.
I had a childhood cat named Mr. Moon. We called him Mooey.
Oh.
And I remember my brother's wife came over and we all knew she was the one because she thought Mooey looked like he couldn't read, so she made little fake wire glasses for him. And
my
all these
God.
pictures
She's
of
a
Mooey,
fucking
like,
keeper. I love her. Oh my God, I love her. Anyone? Yeah, I really fucking hate as long as we're on the subject, people that are like weird about cats.
Me too.
I'm
yeah.
like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
You don't know.
yuck someone else's yum.
You don't know.
Like, just shut your fucking cat-hating fucking
Oh,
mouth.
you bitch.
Yes. No one fucking asked you.
Yeah. Sorry, cats like can tell if you're a loser or not. They have
Cats
discernment.
just don't fucking care about you. They have needs too, whereas dogs will give it away to anyone.
Exactly, that's how I feel too. I'm like, I
I
don't
love
care about a
dogs.
dog's love.
But I love dogs.
No, I do too.
But I love
they're
dogs.
whores.
But I see them as like, you love me because you love everyone. But if a cat loves me, I'm like, oh, yeah, gotta
Hey.
get it.
Yes.
I wish we could get a cat. I'm allergic to cats, but I love cats.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
So
as
you're
long
one
as
of
the rest
us.
of that.
As long as I love them.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So that was the second question.
So,
Yeah.
do you want to ask it?
Okay, so present of the cat's success. Second question is, what would you tell yourself at the lowest point in your life?
My dad always said to me, like my biological father, and like the one who's like still breathing, who I adore. But because like my stepdad passed away, but he like raised me, so like I'm still close with both. But like I lived with my stepdad, but my dad's still cute. But he would always say like, you know, nothing is broken beyond repair, and I think that 99% of situations in life like are like that. Like so whenever I was at my lowest point, like knowing that it's, you know, it's never really as broken as what you feel like it is.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's great.
Oh my god, I feel like I
have to
hear like
remind
Twister in the background. I feel like that. I feel like Helen, we got cows.
Oh wow, yeah.
Okay, and now the final question.
Oh yes.
Which
Just
is-
can you spill any tea about literally anything?
Anything.
Oh wait,
What
so
gossip
do you
do you
guys
have?
did you guys also not see Twister?
Oh no, we've seen Twister.
Oh, cool.
I've done the Universal
I
Studios
haven't.
ride.
I'm tracking with you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't seen
Everyone's
Twister.
seen Twister.
What is Twister?
Well, I was just scared. See,
Twister. Oh, okay, maybe not.
I don't know what it is.
I remember
really
the
crazy when you
Universal
realize that you're
Studios
getting
experience.
Oh, the movie with the.
it's crazy when you really realize that you are getting older. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It really is.
No, like Shrek is 20 years old or
Because
something.
you guys also don't know about the 1996 Olympics, like the Magnificent Seven.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I do
mean,
know.
it-
I've
You do?
heard-
Oh, I
I've
know
heard
about
of it, yeah, but I
that.
don't know.
You guys should watch that on YouTube. It's great.
We should.
Yeah, I would love
Just
to.
like
I
the
don't-
women's.
I'm
So what
scared to speak.
you want to find on YouTube is the women's team final, 1996 Olympics.
It's like Christina Gucci.
Oh my fucking god!
Oh no.
That's a 1992 gold medal winning figure skater at the Winter
my
Olympics.
God, I
The
love
Magnificent
literally-
Seven.
call.
No,
the
nine-
Magnificent Seven was Amanda Borden, Shannon Miller, Dominique Dawes, J.C. Phelps, Dominique Moceanu, Carrie Strug, Amanda Borden, J.C. Phelps, Dominique Dawes, Dominique Moceanu, Shannon Miller, Carrie Strug, Amy Chow.
Amy
That's
Chow.
That was so impressive.
That was impressive.
And they were the first United States women's gymnastics team to take a gold medal at the fucking Olympics,
Oh
you
my
guys.
God,
God, word.
Jacob is losing his mind over here.
Yeah, y'all
you
are
guys have the
homies.
exact same
Strug
interests.
moment.
Oh, that Carrie Strug moment.
Why? Okay, I realize that I'm like uneducated on
Do you guys
everything.
know what the Carrie
99
Strug moment is?
No.
This bitch landed. This bitch. You guys don't even fucking know.
I can't
you
wait.
Guys, you two little baby gays need to run home, not walk, run home. You gotta take your
home.
tops off, turn on that YouTube on your Apple TV, and cuddle up and make some popcorn and watch that. That is 1.5 hours
I
of
can't
magic.
wait. I
I'm
can't
excited.
Wow.
wait.
Very, very
Okay.
excited.
The last
Okay,
question.
So, last question is, what is any tea? you
Any
might
gossip?
have?
Okay. Well, do you guys have where do you think that your listeners live?
Who knows?
We don't know. We haven't.
World,
Do you think in
everywhere.
America?
Every house.
Do you think in America?
Probably,
Yeah,
in
probably.
America.
Well, I think that we really need to start thinking about our state legislatures for 2020.
Oh my God,
yes.
Because the census is coming up, and in 2020 the census is going to determine what the congressional maps will be for the next election. So censuses are really fucking important.
Okay.
Yes.
And all this shit goes down when we're not even paying attention because we're
Not paying attention.
Not paying attention.
I
listening
was
to
raised
ourselves
up in our
talk,
own
watching
drama.
other-
My dad-
Making podcast.
Yes, doing this, doing that. But we have to really pay attention. And it's really important
Yeah.
for us to talk to our Aunt Lindas and our Aunt Marges, especially
agree.
in Ohio, Missouri, Georgia, Kentucky, Alabama, These are all places that have passed fetal heartbeat bills. These are all states that are really trying to like create, barriers between women and access to healthcare. And I really am concerned about the backsliding of women's rights to healthcare and LGBTQ rights. And as we all know, like transgender people are not allowed to serve in our military anymore. But I think that we really need to focus right now on our elections in 2020, what policies are important to us, and talking to our Aunt Marges and our Aunt Lindas that are in swing
That's a
states.
big
I also think
in the middle of America, and also being careful to like, yes, progressive policies are great, but Pelosi just said it, and it's so fucking true. We have to own the mainstream.
Yeah.
Right.
And without the mainstream,
Yeah.
we will
love
not
that.
have this
So
vote.
true.
And so I think that we have to figure out like what progressive policies we want to champion, what we want this narrative to be. And we all really need to talk to our families about it, our Uber drivers about it. Not people that already agree with you, but people that, won't shoot
which
you in
we
the
have
face.
a unique
but people
ability
that
to
you
because
can
we all
talk to.
travel.
Yeah.
We all
True.
travel and take Ubers in lots of random cities.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said all that on this podcast.
Me
'cause
too.
I
I'm
feel
really
like
glad.
that's-
Yeah, we'll reach. I mean, I
You're like, we haven't said anything like socially constructive or important for these like 7 episodes.
No,
so
it's
it's
No,
really
no,
good.
it's
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
it's true.
kidding.
So I'm obsessed with voting. Voting's like one of my best friend Taddy and I, every night before voting, we're like, it's like Christmas Eve. We wake up at like 6, we get coffee, we walk to our polling place.
I love that.
It's fun. I love to vote, and I
Love to make our voices heard.
Yes, I love to have
Yes.
control and power and
Yes.
get my hands involved
Stuff.
and I agree with you. Impeachment would be tough, and I think what's even sexier to me, to be honest, is like
Voting his fucking ass out.
Yeah, a resounding no, just a
Yes.
resounding "this is not who we are"
Yeah.
is sexier to me.
It makes me soaking wet.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
I ruined my best friend Patty's couch that I'm sitting on. Like, I'm drenched in this beautiful, flowery, sweet sort of
exactly.
vaginal mist.
Just
is everywhere.
a resounding
yes.
no, baby.
A lake full of absolutely not.
I love you so much.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.